What's going on, Lotus Tribe? It's Gal coming to you with her official pick a card reading. So this is going to be my, well, in technicality, I've posted, but I've been involved in here, right? So I should have been doing this a long time ago. And I had some things come into play to where I didn't do what I was supposed to do as far as wanting perfection and things like that. So I'm posting my official first with consistency pick a card reading for the new moon energy that we have coming up. And I'm here to assist and provide my services and my gifts to the rest of you, my Lotus Tribe. And so we're asking the universe today, what are we calling in for this new moon energy and the things and how we need to work in this space and this energy in order to call in the things that we want. So let's get to it. And before we start the pick a card reading, I do want to do a overall energy with the divine masculine and divine feminine. Giving my divine masculine a numerology pull. And then we will do the feminine with a goddess deck that I have. And to kind of see, and as you know, it's duality. So we are not just feminine energy as women or masculine energy as men or men. It is a collective. We inhabit masculine and feminine energy. Excuse the in the background. That is my newborn. Some of you already know that I have a newborn. I'm currently pumping right now. You may see me transition somewhere throughout the video. And I may get my beautiful baby girl and put her on my chest so that I could finish this reading, because sometimes it's just so difficult with everything going on to find the perfect timing to do these type of things. So I'm having the space now and we are going to get started. So, and I also have my water. I'm drinking, as you know. Being a breastfeeding mother, drinking your water is essential. So don't mind me if you see me throughout the video. Take some sips. But before we get started, yes, I have already burnt my sage, kind of cleared the space a little bit. So we are going to get started because we have to move into new energy and new space. If we're not going to do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. So let's start with the numerology pull. I am very indulged in numerology. I love numerology as a part of the occult and what it does and what it brings us. I'm going to take the time out. Cards are a little sticky. And I guess here it is. So for the divine masculine energy, we have karmic completion and spiritual partnership. For our divine masculine energy, to me, we might be moving from karmic relationships. The number 10, the number 1, it usually means in spirituality, if we break that down, 1 and 0, that breaks down to the 1. The 1 in numerology, for those who are not aware, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing, but for those who are not aware, 1 is a reflection of leadership, taking initiative. It is the leader. We begin our process with the number 1. And so we have here with the number 10, 0 in numerology is considered void or spirit or source. But usually in numerology, we break these things down. So 1 plus 0, it's going to be 1. And it says here, karmic completion. So for me, what I'm hearing from spirit is indicating that we have learned our lessons from previous relationship, previous ties, previous contracts that we may have. And for this new moon energy, for our masculine and masculine energy, we need to be moving into a spiritual partnership, whether that be one within self and becoming more aligned, or actually involving in maybe cultivating our friendships and our relationships in a more intentional way. So we have spiritual partnership here, and that could be a physical relationship, where it be intimate partnership, love relationship, or again, just an aspect of a circle or a tribe overall, where we're cultivating that in a way of where it is a reflection of who we are now that we've had that completion. Because sometimes when we go through karmic things, we are in a lower vibration, but once we've learned the lessons that we need to learn, which we might have learned during the full moon that we just passed, now we're moving into spiritual partnership. We're saying, hey, we're ready, we learned these lessons, now it's time for me to implement the lessons that I've learned and now cultivate my space in which I reflect now that I have learned these lessons. We have the number 27 as a spiritual partnership, 2 plus 7. That's going to give you the number 9. 9 is completion. And I think I love the way spirit works sometimes. But 9 is completion. In the numerology realm, it is usually the humanitarian. So we come in and we've kind of learned all the lessons that we need to learn to take steps and do what it is that we need to do. So I think that that's beautiful as far as the masculine energy and us moving in that. So for those who may be heavily indulged in masculine energy, even if you're a man or a woman, these are some things that may need to happen during this new moon energy. The karmics and the spiritual relationships and things like that, we're moving into more of a balanced space with that 27 number as far as cultivation. Let's see what we have overall for our feminine energy. What are the things that we need to call in overall for our feminine energy? What messages does the feminine need to hear in that space? What do we have? What do we have here? And I love this oracle deck. This is Woman Fest, Your Destiny by Aviola Abrams. And she's a spiritpreneur. She trademarked that, and I think that was fucking genius for her to do. And so what do we have? We have feeling safe, gestation. Life is conspiring in my favor. I am safe, and it is safe to be safe. Absolutely. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed with the 3D things that we see, and we become overly indulged in physical things and overwhelmed and a little OCD in our brains, feeling like we have to control every piece of the table. And sometimes we have to realize that some pieces we are not meant to control. It is spirit. Spirit is controlling these things for us. Spirit has the control. And the more relaxed we are, the more things come to us, the safer we feel. It's important to listen to your intuition because spirit is constantly talking to you. Your higher self is constantly talking to you for you to make the appropriate steps. It's just, are you in a place to where you can hear spirit? Understand that the universe is always conspiring with you and never against you. Even if you're going through a situation to where you may not prefer, the universe is here. The universe does nothing not in your favor. Even if it is that situation that's like, what the fuck? Why am I going through this right now? It is meant for you to go through that so that you can learn a lesson. There's a lesson to be learned in that space because it's clear that you may be missing something. So I think that this is beautiful, that life is conspiring in my favor. I am safe, and it is safe for me to be safe. You understand? And once you learn to relax, manifestations come in so much more smoothly. Here's a quick little story. I was tripping out because I had my newborn and I already have 2 other children. So now with the inflation going on and things like that, usually I try my best to work in a place of non-control. I control what I can and I can't what I can't. It has taken me a while to get to this place in spirit and just trust in spirit. But we have our moments, right? So in my mind, I'm just overthinking, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Da, 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 da. And then I'm driving and the next license plate that I see, the car gets in front of me. The license plate says, relax. And so it was just a reminder and synchronicity from the universe and spirit, like, relax. What you worried about? You worried about nothing. Because the universe works in ways to where it's so unexpected. We have all these expectations, and typically when we're manifesting, it happens in a way to where we did not expect it. So understand that. Take a chill pill. Let's balance that out. Our masculine, we come in from a place of learning lessons. We're cultivating new energy. We're cultivating new relationships, new friendships, new employees, new employers, to where it is a reflection of who we are. And in our feminine energy, we have to understand in our subconscious self that it is okay and that we are safe. You understand? As a duality. So I think that that's beautiful. And that's just the collective of what we have going on for the masculine and the feminine energy. Here is a tip that I like to have people understand. Your masculine is typically your 3D, your conscious self. Your feminine energy is usually the subconscious self, the things that we do not see here. The high priestess is the guardian of the subconscious self. That's how I consider my high priestess. So let's get into this. Pick a card. Stay tuned, stay around. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe to my channel down below. Hit the notification bell so you can get constant updates. As I said, this is the new moon. We in new energy. We doing new things, new vibration, as you can see. And make sure you like and share the video so you could get more content from me. I will truly appreciate it. And let's get into it. I'm going to show you the crystals that I picked. And I want you to take some time, look at that, pause the video if you need to, and just sit with that. Take some breaths in. I usually recommend breathing in for 4 seconds, holding it for 7, exhaling for 8. If you need to do that maybe twice so that you can really, really pick appropriately and hear the messages of what you need to call in individually for this new energy. I have my group 1 here. See what we got. Get our clarification deck. This is the Morgan Greer deck. I've had this deck for quite some time, for some years actually, and I love it because it has completely taken in my energy, my space. I do the most accurate readings with this deck, in like my first tarot deck that I ever got. And I just feel like it just flows, like the cards speak to me. I love this deck. So I am going to use this deck, even though I have other tarot decks. I love, 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 love this deck. So let's see what we got and what we need to call in for our group 1. And blue is a color that reflects loyalty and commitment. So just a FYI right there. So I pulled the Soul's Journey lesson cards from James Van Parr. And I also pulled a card from Getting Into Your Vortex by Esther and Jerry Hicks. If those who listen to Abraham Hicks, I really enjoy them, and how much they talk about being relaxed and letting go of things you can't control and getting into your vortex and not creating resistance. Those lessons can tend to be very valuable. So from the Getting Into Your Vortex, we have the law of attraction assembles all cooperative relationships. Absolutely. And we talked about that in the overall energy of just releasing and letting things go and feeling safe. So it says, so there is this vortex of becoming a vortex that contains all of the requests, all of the amended requests, each and every detail of each and every asking that has emanated from you. The law of attraction is responding to that. The vortex is literally drawing in all things necessary for the completion. We got that again. The completion components are being summoned and are coming for the completion of these creations, for the answering of these questions, and for the solutions of these problems. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. Here's the front of the card. I thought these cards were kind of cool. Here we go. Get you guys to see that glitters in the way. The grief card. Okay, this is, why is my headphones popping out? You see that? The grief card. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And so we also talked about this in the overall energy group 1. If you can see that, I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And I thought about the chakra when I pulled this card. your sacral chakra, and a signification of power, your power. And so I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And the law of attractions assembles all cooperative relationships. It's so crazy that this is consistent with the overall that we just did for the divine feminine and the masculine. But right now, it's kind of like what I'm hearing is making space for new things. So I kind of had this conversation with my husband maybe a couple of days ago where he kind of likes to hoard old stuff because it's a memorable thing for him. I had bought him some shoes and he's like, oh, I'm not throwing these out. And I'm like, listen, they busted. Throw them out. You got brand new shoes in the closet. It's no need for you to keep these shoes. And he's like, well, I'm going to keep them because you bought me these. And these are essential. And I'm like, but they busted. Throw them out. In order for you to make room for new things and space for new things, you have to get rid of the old things. And sometimes we like to hold on and we become in fear of letting go of old things because I guess it may be fear of not calling in those new things. But I think that that's absurd. Like, in order for you, you have a space. So you're going to keep cluttering your space. You was at a different place when you had this old thing. Now you're here. Now you've learned your lessons. So now it's time to call in those new things, right? Now it's time to make space for those new things. I told my husband, like, me and my husband have been together for some time. We've known each other for some time. And I told my husband, I was like, when I was manifesting and attracting my husband, I was making space in my drawers, emptying out a drawer, emptying out a closet space when I was living by myself for my husband to come in. And I said, your shit will always end up in that space, even though I wasn't expecting it to be your shit. When I did make that space, your things always ended up in that space. So it's kind of like that. When we lose things, we lose them for a reason. I'm also hearing from spirit for those who may have lost a loved one and you may have had a loved one transition. Understand that when somebody transitions, they have transitioned away from the physical plane into which we can see them physically. But that does not mean that the soul and the spirit is not there to assist you. So although you may not see that person, it's time to cultivate a new relationship into which where I honor my ancestors, even though they're not here. And those relationships that I have that have transcended into a different plane or a different dimension. I have created a new relationship, maybe not a physical relationship where I can constantly call you, talk to you, but I do still honor you and give you gratitude for watching over me on the other side. So that's also something to take in as well for those who may have been experiencing those type of things. Let's clarify these cards. Let's see what we have for the law of attraction or overall. So we have the Knight of Rods, which is the Knight of Wands. And that's typically moving forward to take action to move forward, right? So we're moving forward here, and we've again established that we're moving from things that we've learned lessons in. And so we're taking those baby steps. It's not quite the page, but we're taking those baby steps to move forward and implement that action. Okay, we are aware that Wands is action based. It's very 3D based. How am I moving forward, right? So we've decided that we're going to move forward. And we have the King of Swords. We know what it is that we need to do. We are intellectual. We are aware. We've learned our lessons. And so now that we've sought that truth and now that the truth has been given to us, we are now moving forward in that space. Let's see what else we have. Okay, now. So here we have the 9. And again, we moving from old conditions because this lay right over the grief card. So we have the 9 of Wands here, and typically in the traditional tarot, the 9 of Wands is somebody who you see has all of these sticks and they're struggling to move forward, holding these sticks. It becomes heavy. and it's a heavy space for them, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get from one place to another, and understanding that they may have been wounded in the past, but even though being wounded in the past, they still are striving to move forward. So with the Nine of Wands, and we have that 9 again, with that 9 of Wands, we have someone who may have had a difficult previous path or journey, and may find it a little difficult. But for me, what I'm hearing is that this specific person or these group of people have moved from a place of struggle and hardships and feeling like, you know, the universe or the world was placed on their shoulders and just constantly struggling. And truth was provided in that space. And so now, knowing that truth has been provided and we have been given, you know, truth and understanding and clarity, right, with the swords coming from this place. And if you look at it, right, we have both the 9 of Wands, we have the King of Swords facing the Knight of Rods, right? So we know that we are moving from this place to transition into moving forward and taking a different step in actions with the law of attraction and assembling new things for us. So for me, what I'm hearing just collectively of looking at that, even though we may have struggled, even though we may have cried, even though we may have been unsure, we have learned our lessons. We have moved past our lessons. We are strong. We have strength. We've been provided clarity. We understand what it is that we need to do. And we need to take those steps of moving forward. Very similar to the overall divine masculine and feminine energy here. So let's see. Let me get an overall what we have here. Let's see what's going on. I don't like when multiple cards turn over. Okay. And we have the Page of Rods. Same thing. New ideas, new cultivation, new space. And we taking action to move forward. This is all personal energy. These are all personal energies, especially with these pages, knights, and the kings. I mean, outside of the 9 of Wands, which is again moving from hardships or feeling like there's been burden placed upon you, especially with that grief. This is a specific person. This can be, I'm hearing that this is specifically you in particular, of moving in that space and gaining that clarity through your hardships, through your grief, and now coming to a place of balance and being aware of what it is that you need to do and understanding that you need to take those actions in order to implement this new energy that you're calling in. The law of attraction is a real thing. The law of attraction typically works from the subconscious mindset than it does the conscious mindset. You have a lot of people that try to move from a conscious self. 90% of who you are, 95% of who you are is subconscious. That's only 5% that's a conscious self, which makes the whole 100. So when we go through certain things, we like to move from a conscious self. But if that subconscious self is not together, that paradigm won't shift. You will not call in what it is that you're meant to call in, because what happens is a place of resistance. We create a place of resistance because there's a contradiction between our conscious self and our subconscious self. Again, there goes that divine feminine and divine masculine, yin and yang. So we have to understand and be okay with the things that we went through. Understand that we are not our situations, that we learn from our situations and circumstances, and then we move forward in that space. I'm going to read again because I feel like I need to read it again. And here's the number 3. The number 3 reflects expansion on the Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks card. The law of attraction assembles all cooperative relationships. So again, your vortex is becoming, right? And you're changing your vortex. You're now calling in the things that you feel as though you deserve. And that is what's happening. That is what's taking place. That's what needs to be called in. So here is a tip for my group 1. I learned this from Billy Carson. You can revamp your DNA, your trauma, and the things that you may have been through by indicating to yourself 10 times a day the things that you want to release. And you want to say it with affirmative emphasis. So, I release fear. I release scarcity. And you want to do that 10 times a day. 10 times a day. I release. And as you begin to say that, you are literally reconfiguring your DNA and your subconscious thought. So now when you begin to call in the things that you want, that looks different. There is no resistance there. It just flows right to you because you relaxed. You no longer believe that you're in fear. You no longer believe that you're not deserving. And also, for those who may be holding on to things from a child self, from childhood trauma, apologize to that child. Apologize to that child for not being there. Apologize to that child for that grief. You're being reborn. And with being reborn comes new relationships and new things. Make space for that. Don't allow the resistance. Don't allow the baggage. Don't allow the trauma to stay there. Okay? I love you, Group 1. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Again, we're working in consistency. And so hit the notification bell to get new notifications when I am posting. I appreciate you. Today, just take a moment to find 3 things that you are in gratitude for really quickly. And moving that, I hope you have a wonderful day. This reading is timeless, sending you an abundance of love and light. We have the rose quartz, pink quartz crystals here, whatever you want to call it. This is particularly used when trying to attempt to open up your heart chakra or call in love. So let's see what we have. Like I told the other group, I picked from the Getting Into the Vortex and the Soul's Journey cards. I want to see what we have here for my group 2. We're going to clarify these cards with the Morgan Greer deck that I have. I've had that for quite some time. I love the way that this deck speaks to me. It definitely has cultivated my energy. So, causing pain to others will attract pain to me. I hope ain't nobody in no spiteful energy or space. We got to learn to let go. Sometimes people do things to us and we want to get back at them, but it's not necessary because the universe always handles it. I always tell people I'm protected. Okay? My ancestors do not play about me, baby. So believe you and I am not one to be messed with. Period, point blanky. And so we have 25, breaks down to a 7, which is the spiritual number, usually spirituality. And typically, you know what happens when you embark on a spiritual journey. You go down that rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland. And sometimes it gets very dark. And sometimes it's full of bliss. And we begin to do the shadow work for ourselves. Typically, we're dealing with the number 7 in order to get to the light and become better people and be reborn in higher states of consciousness, which typically happens multiple times within one lifetime if you choose to embark on the journey. So causing pain for others will not attract pain, would attract pain to me. Okay? And so if we see here, move it over here because this light is kind of serious. It says, the flawed premise, my group's, our way of life is the only correct way. Therefore, all other ways must be stopped is the basis of the majority of unhappiness on our planet or on your planet. Not only do those being pushed against feel the pain, but those doing the pushing feel it as well. In fact, the unhappiest, least fulfilled among you are those who are pushing against others, because it is doing so. In doing so, you are disallowing the most important relationship of all, the relationship between you and you. So I'm hearing heavily judgment being projected on other people. You have to understand, you cannot control other people. You can control your feelings. And even though people do things that you do not prefer or like, you can choose to control how you respond to that. You can control what you can and you can't what you can't. And people is not what you can control. Okay? A lot of the times when we try to project our judgments and our ways on other people, it does not work in our favor. They more than likely push away from what it is that we would prefer for them to do. I am a twin flame. When I first figured out I was a twin flame, I had to learn, in order for my twin flame to grow, I need to be doing the work. I cannot push my twin flame into the journey. I cannot force him to do anything that he does not want to do. I cannot force him to stop fucking with these bitches on the side. I cannot force him to do any of that. But I can control what I do. I can choose to say, hey, I love you, but I don't have to be with you. I'm going through this awakening, and who I'm becoming is not a reflection of who you currently are. And when I released that, guess what? He started doing the work to the point to where we get married in September. So you have to understand that you have to do the work. And as you do the work, the other person will do the work. Outside of the twin flame relationship, my mother relationship. As I attempted to try to get my mom to see my trauma, you did this to me. You don't think that you should at least give acknowledgement? And instead of resenting her or being upset with her, I let go. I told her what she did. It wasn't for her validation. I said, hey, you've done these things to me. These things have made me feel this way, or for a certain period in my life made me this way. It is not for her to give me validation. It was for me to express myself, get it out. And now me and my mom have the best relationship. She's one of my best friends. I talk to her every day. I didn't have to push it on her. She's aware. She has her reasonings on why she did some of the things that she did, and that's okay. It is what it is. But she's not that same person anymore. She's more into spirit. I don't have to force spirit onto her. She's in her own journey, even at the age that she's at. And they start to move gradually. Maybe not when we want to, but they move. So that's in general. Before you start wanting to inflict pain on people, be aware that as you inflicting pain, you're inflicting pain to yourself, because it's a constant push and pull energy. There's that yin and that yang again. So if you only think about pain, guess what's going to happen? You're going to call in pain. As you begin to think about happiness, you'll call in happiness. Let it go. If it's something that no longer serves you, let it go. That's what needs to be done in this new moon energy. Let go of things that no longer serve you. If it's causing you pain, let it go. Why are you holding on to things that cause you pain? It don't make sense. You can't force nobody to be or do anything you want them to do. Whether that be a job, whether that be the people at your job, whether that be a man, a woman, whatever. Parent relationship, child relationship. Stop forcing it. It'll happen. You say what you need to say, move on. Here we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Oh, shit. And that's how spirit be working. You can't change the past. It is what it is. It happened. Let it go. Let it go. Move from it. In order to heal and become your higher self, ask yourself why I went through this. Learn your lesson and move forward. We have self-esteem. I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And as I indicated before, as you call in happiness, happiness will come to you. I'm telling you, I promise you, because it becomes a part of your aura. It becomes a part of your vortex. You can't call in nothing that you inconsistent with. So if you experiencing pain, you are in vibration of pain. That's just what it is. You can't call in nothing on an FM vibration if you vibrating on AM vibration. It just is inconsistent. It don't go together. But everything on that FM vibration, you call into yourself. So if you want to be an AM vibration, then guess what? You need to reflect AM vibration. That's just what it is. Sometimes we go through pain in order to gain and see the light. Suffering is necessary for us to learn lessons that we need to learn, but it's not for us to sit into it. It's not for us to inflict pain on other people. It's just, it is what it is. Anything that is not of you will not be in your vibration. That's just what it is. Just, it is what it is. New friendships, new people, new relationships, rebirth, reconciliations of relationships, period. If a person is leaving and they not in your space no more, they don't need to be there. If you're trying to be in a person's vibration, I wouldn't force myself. I will become my authentic self, and whatever needs to come to you will come to you. So let's see what we have to clarify. I got long-winded on that. I feel like that was probably necessary and needed. What do we have? What do we have? Abraham Hicks. Let's see. Spirit might have said, listen. See? Told y'all. We got the 9. 9 been popping up a lot. Completions. This is clarity. This is mental space. A lot of this is self-inflicted. This is the 9 of Swords. Okay? Usually in the original tarot deck, you see the lady, she's standing up or she's sitting down on the bed, and you see her having these swords, and she's just like, oh, she's in pain and things like that. You've been through this already. You've learned what you needed to learn. It's time to let it go. It's no longer fulfilling. It's no longer in your space. It's no longer in your vibration. Let it go. The bondage is not necessary. And it's mental bondage. It's not physical bondage. It's mental bondage. Yeah. And a lot of us are being very reluctant to move on. Very, very reluctant to move on. We have the 7 of Wands. That's conflict. The 5 of Wands is typically somebody trying to defend their current place or position, as I like to put it, depending on how it pulls out. And then we have the 6 of Wands, where the person is successful. They come back with the, thing and holding it like in success. And then the 7 of Wands is a struggle. It's a struggle. It seems like there's some struggling between yourself, what it is that you're trying to do. Like, it's hard for you to let that go. It's hard for you to let the past be the past. I'm not going to take those cards. This was a lot of cards that came out. You have to let that go, though, because you're going to stay in bondage. If you don't let it go, you're going to stay in bondage. Those things don't serve you. Decisions have to be made. New paths need to be made. 2 of Wands. Action needs to be made. New paths. What you going to do? Pick one or the other. One is going to have you in a place of bondage. The other one is going to bring you complete happiness and bliss. It's not worth it. Decisions have to be made. Decisions have to be made. New paths have to be embarked on. The horizon awaits you. That's the 3 of Wands. That's the next card. The horizon awaits you. Happiness awaits you. What decision are you going to make? Okay? It seems like the overall energy is just about balancing the two. Like, we as a collective seem like we a little in fear, depending on what it is that we're going through. We're a little in fear of letting go of what no longer serves us. We have to be able to be strong enough and have strength in order to move in a place of happiness and complete bliss. Understand that the universe never conspires against you, but always with you. Always with you. Lessons that you need to learn are for a reason. You'll get to where you need to get to. There's no need to be reluctant and resistant. I know sometimes it's difficult to let certain people go. I know sometimes it's difficult to let that job go because this and that, and you're unsure. But sometimes having faith, period, is having faith in the unknown. That's just what it is. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. That mental health is key, though, because that mental health affects everything else. I release. Same thing I told the other group. My best advice is to say, I release fear. I release this person. I release this. Maybe soul contracts need to be broken. Maybe soul ties need to be disconnected. Yeah, this is having you in bondage. The devil card fell out. If you don't let it go, it's going to have you in bondage. This is your opportunity. This is the energy that needs to be called in. It's self-inflicting pain. All of these cards coming out, it's self-inflicted pain. With this card, this is the person who don't have no constraints physically. It's just all mental. It seems like it's all mental too. Like, it's constraints on the brain. Paradigms need to be shifted. I would recommend listening to Bob Proctor. YouTube, search Bob Proctor. Frequencies and vibrations, the things that he talks about. A lot of this is just paradigms needing to be shifted. It's going to be, I wouldn't say hard, but it's going to be a little challenging. But I'm telling you, these are the steps that need to be taken in order to be moved into a new place. Self-esteem. I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So when you come into that place of well-being, you'll be so in shock of how benefiting you could be to everybody else. If you have children, I just heard children. If you have children, when you're in a low vibration, when you're dealing with low vibrational shit, your children see that. Your offspring see that. They sense that. That's not something you want to give them. Right now, they being programmed by all the things that they see and what you're doing. And they taking it up as a sponge. Don't allow them to take in low vibrational shit. Prepare them. Show them what it's like to love yourself. Show them what it's like to give yourself nothing but what you deserve. Not in a physical way. In a physical way too. But not just in a physical way. But in a spiritual way, an internal way. Take that time to meditate. Take that time to do yoga. Take that time to ground yourself. Walk outside barefooted. Hug a tree. Start practicing the law of gratitude. I am so happy and grateful that I have my children. I am so happy and grateful that I have this roof over my head. I am so happy and grateful that I experienced this situation in order to call in new things. Okay, tribe. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can get notifications on when I post new videos. Don't let this be a burden, y'all. I hate that. I hate to see that. I hate to see that. Because guess what? When you don't let things be a burden, you get a fulfillment. We got the 9 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment. I've learned what I needed to learn. Now I'm in a place of happiness and gratitude. I love y'all. Sending y'all nothing but abundance, love, and light. Do me a favor. Find 3 things to be in gratitude for today. I promise you, when you practice the law of gratitude, things that used to fuck with you and bother you won't bother you no more. Love y'all. But not least, group 3. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Like I told the other group, I pulled from Getting Into Your Vortex card by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Abraham Hicks, I love that. I love them. I don't know if it's a them, he, she, but I just love what they talk about, what they discuss. And then I pulled from the Soul's Journey lesson cards by James Van Piar. And so I started it off with, of course, breaking down the numerology. We have 1 and 9, which equals 1 here because that breaks down to 10 and breaks down to 1. So like our overall reading, we had 10, right? Leadership, transition, and taking initiative. Very much so an action-based type of number card, masculine. My relationship will change when my vibration changes. This has been the reading, the overall for everybody, like letting go of the old to call in the new. Letting go of the old to call in the new. My relationships will change when my vibration change. I think I just told group 2 this. You can't get nothing on a frequency that you are not consistent with. So if you calling things on an AM vibration and you operating on an FM vibration, guess what? AM not going to come to you because you are in the frequency of FM. In order for you to come at AM, you have to be vibrating on the AM level. If you are having hardships right now, that is because you are in a vibration of hardships. Understand that. Things that no longer serve you, let it go. People that no longer serve you, let it go. You are a reflection of those that you keep around. If you have transitioned or you are feeling pain, you are no longer in a reflection of those things. Work on it, release it, to call in the things that you want. I have had this conversation with all of the groups. In order to make room for new things, you have to let go of the old. Even if it hurts you, even if it bothers you, you have to let it go. I'm telling you, it will be in your best interest. Sometimes we have the hardest time with letting things go because we like control. Relax, let it go. It no longer serves you. It is not in consistence with you. In order for you to call in that happiness, in order for you to call in that man, that woman that you feel like you are deserving of, guess what? You have to be in reflection of that. You have to let go of those old traumas. You have to break those bondages. You have to break out of those blockages. You have to do the shadow work. Let it go. Let it go. You are safe. Remember the collective reading? You are safe. You're safe. The universe is always conspiring with you, not against you, even if you learn in a lesson. It says, you are living in a time when fewer people will attempt the impossible task of pushing the unwanted far enough away that they will be left with only that which is wanted. It is the time when more people will come into realization that what they have been seeking is not a change in the behavior of others or in the world outside of them, over which they have no control, but instead an understanding of their own vibrational relationship with Source, over which they have complete control. I can control what I can what I can't. I believe I told the other group as well. I may not be able to control other people's actions, but I can control how I feel and how I respond to them. I talked about my twin flame relationship. I talked about when I was in a very low vibrational place with my twin flame relationship. I had to understand that, hey, I love you, but I'm not accepting this, so I can love you at a distance, because this is not in a vibration of me when I was going through my awakening. And guess what? When I learned to let go of those things, if it's meant and that's what's meant to be in your vibration, it will come back. And when I let go of my twin flame relationship, and when I decided that it no longer served me to which the person that I wanted to become, and as I chose to work on myself, if the person is meant to be in your space, they will start to work on themselves as well. And I'm getting married in September. But I had to go through that phase of letting go of control and releasing things that no longer serve me. And I had to tell him that you no longer serve me. You are no longer in my vibration. I will no longer tolerate shit like this. It's okay and I love you, but I can love you from a distance. I ain't got to love you and be with you. That's just what it is. Let's see the other two cards we got. We got fear and judgment. Judgment is being projected on people. And it seems like there is a fear of letting go. And I said that already. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. This seems very relationship based. Very relationship based. Would that be a parent-child relationship, child-parent relationship, partner relationship? I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. My relationships will change when my vibration change. I understand that everyone has their own unique paths and challenges, and that you can't control no one else. You just can't. You find yourself in more suffering when you try to do it, because you set expectations on people. And you just cannot. Stop projecting. Because then when you hold on to that and you move into another space with other people, you're going to be projecting that old self on them. Come on now. Let's do the work. Let's balance the scales. Let's balance the scales with the Six of Pentacles. Let's balance the scales. Stop giving to one place and not giving into others. Pour into those who pour into you. Because guess what? When that's done, Ten of Pentacles. Everything that you've ever wanted gonna come into play. Everything that you ever desire is gonna come into play in abundance with the Ten of Pentacles. This is a 3D card. That's earth energy. That's physical manifestations. You got to start to love yourself, though. That's what's required. We have the King of Wands taking action, not in fear, moving forward, doing what's necessary. But that action is required. It's all 3D masculine energy. And that was the overall. Go back to the beginning of the video and listen to the overall. Taking action to do that. Please, please. This is the energy that we need to call in. The overall was, what is it that we need to call in for this new moon energy? What is the new vibrational things that we need to call in? We have to let go of our past. It happened. It's nothing you can do. It no longer serves you. It happened. Decisions and choices have to be made with the Lovers. Some of us may be dealing with a twin flame relationship for real. Decisions, because the horizon is here. Look beyond the horizon. What's past you? Let go of that one wand that you holding on to. Because you got the 2 wands in front of you, because you got to make a choice and a decision. Then we have the Lovers here as well. Choices and decisions. Divine masculine, divine feminine energy. We have choices and decisions that need to be made. Do you want the abundance or not? Come on now. Look at the horizon. Look at what's in front of you. Relationships, letting those things go. Because then you have that full fulfillment of a relationship ahead of you when you let go of that shit that's no longer necessary. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, and that may not be a part of your path and your challenges. Let it go. Let it go. It no longer serves you. It's not necessary. Why are you holding on to it? Why? I think this one got straight to the point. This was the shortest reading and articulation that I've done for any of the other videos. It seems like y'all know what needs to be done. You know what needs to be done. You're not deserving of bullshit. You're not deserving of a person who can't give you what it is that you need. You have the strength to move forward. You have the strength to take those steps. You're not a weak bitch or a weak man. Sorry for using the word bitch. You're not weak. You know what's happening. You know what's going on. You built for this. You came in this motherfucker by yourself. More than likely, you're going to leave this motherfucker by yourself. Learn the lessons while you can. It's all right. We all go through shit. We don't have to hold on to it, though. We're not deserving of anybody treating us less than what we deserve. Come on. Y'all got this. As always, sending you nothing but abundance, love, and light. I hope that this has been very moving for you. I would definitely recommend watching group 2 video. Reading and going back to the collective in the beginning before we started the pick a card. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get notifications of when I'm posting. We are being more consistent in our energy, in our space. I love y'all. I love y'all. Sending you again nothing but love, light, and abundance for your space, for your energy, for your sacredness. Get grounded. I heard grounded a lot. Get grounded so you know what decisions and things need to be made. And before leaving, just find 3 reasons to be in gratitude for. Because as you practice the law of gratitude, I promise you, things that used to bother you will not bother you anymore, because it helps you get into a place of complete bliss. I love y'all. And until next time, y'all is here. And if you want to buy me a cup of tea, that link is down there in the description as well.